Hello, beautiful souls. I'm here today and going to bring through the Elohim, and I've asked them to speak about sovereignty and our autonomy because that's been coming through me quite a bit lately. I mentioned it in my last video that it's really important for us to become self-empowered and to look to ourselves for answers, because there's so much information out there right now about what's happening on the earth and how that's going to look. And my feeling is that us moving into sovereignty and autonomy is really the ground that we need for moving forward in everything that's going to be coming on this earth as we continue to go through years of change, which astrology is certainly predicting. So the stronger we become within ourselves, the less we'll be tossed about by all of that. So stay tuned, and I will be bringing through the Elohim. And so here are the Elohim. And so it is, beloveds. It is our great joy and delight to come before you, and an honor as well for us to stand before the humans who are going through this time of magnificent change. Beloveds, we say to you that so much is happening behind the scenes upon this planet on which you live. So much more than what you realize is unfolding, is going down, as some of you like to say, that it will be like a new earth indeed is beginning on the other side of this COVID-19. The yawning is clearing, just for people who don't know. This COVID-19 pandemic, which is bringing all into a place of stillness. In essence, it's stopping everything. It's stopping your economy. It's stopping your education system. It's challenging your hospitalization system, so that everything is being looked at. Everything is under the magnifying glass. And what this is doing is allowing everyone to see not only what happens when you move out of these systems, for example, the earth having time to breathe again with fresh air in her lungs, and also for you to see the dysfunction of the structures more fully, and to see what your lives were like in the busyness and the hectic way in which you lived your lives. And it's giving everyone opportunity to question if that's really what they want to go back to. But also there is much pressure behind the scenes to change the systems that have not been serving humanity. And so you see, beloveds, there is a great cleansing, a great purifying, a great reset happening at this time that is to your benefit. And we say to you that it is well worth the time that you are spending having to be quiet in your lives, having to be in solitude. For one, it is allowing you time for inner reflection, which we certainly encourage at this time. And it is also allowing you time to feel what it's like to have time in your life, to have this stillness in your life. And so we bring this forward for you to know that as you have this time in retreat, as you have this time in solitude, to come back to yourselves, you can see where you had been giving your power away, and you can see where your power has been taken away. However, we would say that if humans were to come back to standing firm and standing solid as one nation, as one race, for what you choose to be living in the world, the system would have to change. And it is a time for solidarity. It's a time for humans to come together, accepting diversity, appreciating diversity, knowing that diversity is the flower of life, It's like having only one kind of flower in the world. And every spring, all you got to see was daisies. Soon you would just be tired of daisies. There would be no diversity. There would be no joy in seeing a pink flower and a red flower and an orange one and a purple one. All you would see is white and yellow. And so it is the same way with your diversity. It is the spice of life, as many have said. And so as you come together as one nation, standing in appreciation of the diversity of that nation, and demanding together that which you choose to be living, then change will happen very quickly. And much of this, as we have said, is beginning to happen behind the scenes. And so this piece that this one wanted us to speak about sovereignty, about coming back into your own internal power, is very much a part of this, because the more you become empowered within yourself, the less you have the dysfunction of trying to mold yourself to fit in, and therefore not being authentic to yourself, and also allowing others to dictate who you are, essentially. If you need to look like everyone else, dress like everyone else, act like everyone else, which many of you really feel that you need to do in order to be accepted, then you can be molded to fit a world that someone else tells you is right. And so this piece about sovereignty is saying, no, wait a minute, that doesn't feel true to me. That doesn't feel authentic to me. And I'm a piece of this picture. I'm an important piece of this puzzle. When you put together a jigsaw puzzle, every piece is different. Every piece has only one spot where it fits in. If they were all the same, it wouldn't be a very interesting jigsaw puzzle, just a blue puzzle. You wouldn't know where you fit in, for one thing, and it wouldn't be very interesting. And so this is the way it is for humanity to come back to fully loving and appreciating yourselves. And we say to you, dear ones, that you cannot find this place of autonomy as long as you're trying to be part of the crowd, part of the tribe. It is a paradox, as so many things are in your world, that you must move away from the tribe and come back to yourself and fill yourself up. You must move away from others telling you who you are and how you must behave and what is right and what is wrong for you, and find that within yourself. And then the more you do that, and you find your way back to fully loving yourself and accepting yourself just as you are, knowing the perfection of you, then you come back out and you want to be in community once again, but you're not in community as someone who is needy, as someone who is codependent on those who are around them. You come back as an independent person, full of love, and therefore wanting to be with this community and offer your loving grace to this community. But it is from a place of fullness within yourself, and so therefore what you're giving is full. When people are giving from a place of emptiness, where they're not fully loving themselves, they're just trying to figure out who they need to be in order to be accepted, then they're moving into that from a place of emptiness. And therefore what they give is empty. It's like trying to move into a relationship with someone who doesn't love themselves. They will never be able to love you. They are not loving themselves. Only when people are fully loving themselves can they give love out into the world. And this is part of becoming autonomous and moving into sovereignty, is this piece about loving yourself and pulling all the little filaments that are stuck to you from the mass consciousness, from society, from the tribe, from family, from loved ones, of who you need to be. And this is not to say that you let go of your responsibilities and you just drop your relationships. If you are a parent and you have children, of course you are responsible to those children. But do you get lost in the role of parenting, being just a mom or just a dad? Or are you this full person experiencing many aspects of life, and part of that is being a mom or dad? This is the difference, beloveds. And the more you come back to knowing yourselves and what you will accept in your world as okay, then the more change will come about for you. And it will happen energetically when you come fully to this place of autonomy. You will not create situations that are disharmonious with who you are. So the more autonomous you become, and that includes the self-love, then the more you see love in your world. Because the world has to reflect who you are. You create your world from your internal presence, from your internal being. And then the world brings that to you. When you believe that you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect, then people who come into your life who can't give you that, you won't keep them in your life. Not that it's judging them and making them wrong. They are who they are. But it's discernment about who you're going to choose to spend your time with. It's not that you think those people are unworthy, but you realize that on their life path, where they are in their journey, they are in a different place than you are. And you're choosing to bring in people that are a frequency match in the relation to love that matches you. And part of this returning to sovereignty is being able to let go of situations and relationships. Because as you move into sovereignty, as you move into self-love, your frequency increases. The higher the frequency, the more love there is for the self. And so people who are out of resonance with you will simply fall away from your life. And some people try to keep them there. They think they're doing something wrong by letting people go. But actually, it can be difficult for others to stand in your light. If your light is shining much brighter than theirs, it can actually be difficult for them if they're not ready to see what your light is showing them. This one actually had the experience a few years ago of working with a student who was doing some training with her, and this woman had so much love. And one day they were on a call, and this woman was sending this beloved channel so much love, and at the time this channel was not in the place of self-love that she is now in, and she had to say, "Stop, I can't take it." She knew that this woman was sending her so much love that it was overwhelming. This is what we mean. There is a frequency, a vibration of this love. And if someone cannot be in resonance with who you are, it can be difficult for them. So it's just as well to let them go. And if they choose to be with you, and if they keep coming back to you, then there's something that you have to offer them. But if they are ready to go, then let them go until they find their way. Just as this one found her way back to self-love, in this place of fullness, in this place of her own sovereignty, recognizing her own divinity. This is the way of it, beloveds. And this is the way that you are going to create a new earth. And this is the opportunity that you are in right now. You don't have to figure out how to create the new earth per se. If you figure out how to be fully loving yourself, if you figure out where your pain and your suffering and your hardship is, and we say to you, beloveds, all suffering is emotional suffering. It is not the life events that create the suffering. It is your interpretation of it. And if you feel like a victim, or if you feel like you need to rescue others, which is also a victim mentality, then you are going to suffer. That is why you need to find your way out of this. If you feel like you're suffering through this, then it is a time for you to look within and find out where that feeling is coming from. Find out where that pain is. Look into your childhood. Look into your past lives, or find someone who can take you there to find out where it is and heal it by looking at it, by being in it, by going through it. You don't need to get lost there for days and days. But if you see suffering in your life, know that there is some emotional state within you that is looking for some healing, looking for some love. And as long as you are seeing difficult circumstances in your life, then there is something internally for you to be looking for. So, beloveds, we will leave it there and say what a joy and delight it is to be here, to be with you, to be offering our loving guidance to you, and to be witness to everything that is unfolding upon the earth at this time. It is difficult for many, we know and we understand. And yet we ask you to be patient and to know, to recognize that you are changing a 13,000-year cycle upon this earth. You are on an elliptic, and you are at the end of the elliptic cycle, where you are moving from darkness into the light again. You can understand that it might be a bit of a challenging shift when that dark energy has been playing out in your world for 13,000 years. So, beloveds, we say to you, and of course there have been eons of time in previous cycles where this has happened, and humanity has not found its way out. But you are now, beloveds, you are in the most magnificent times. And so we want you to hold that in your awareness as you go through these days of solitude and retreat and confinement for many, to keep your vision on the new world that's being created and understanding that an old system is falling away, and there are many aspects to that system. So imagine that you're living in a house and the foundation suddenly crumbles. It's going to be a bit of difficulty for a while until you figure out what you can keep and what you want to throw away, and what timber is salvageable, and where you're going to build your new house, and what it's going to look like, and what kind of a foundation will you build this time so that you won't have the same experience again. All of this is what is happening on your world. So, beloveds, we leave it there and ask this one to bring through some light language from the ancient ones to support you in this transition, to support you in these times, and to support you in returning back to the self, looking within the self for your answers, for your knowing, and for the love that you so desire, and deservedly so, for it has been kept from you for far too long, beloveds. And so we call upon you, invite you to call upon us when you are in need, for we are here for you, dear ones, in every moment. All you need to do is ask and call upon us. And so it is. And so it is. Much thanks to the Elohim for that. So I will call on the ancient ones now and bring through some light language. And just want to say to you as well, I've been so tired the last few days, and I learned from a friend that the Schumann resonance, which is the frequency of the earth, is off the charts right now. So for most of my life, the Schumann resonance of the earth has been 7.8 hertz. And yesterday he told me it was 138. So such a huge difference. And this is the ascension. This is high frequency energies coming into this earth. And I share this in case you've been tired, or also what this energy does is it brings things up to the surface, because anything of a denser frequency then is going to be coming to the surface. And it can be challenging days when we're in this really high frequency. And I was feeling it again today. It took me a long time to get myself out of bed this morning. So just to share that understanding for people who are feeling the same and wondering what the heck is going on. Why is this such a challenging day? As the Elohim said, there's a lot happening behind the scenes, and this powerful energy is one of those pieces that's really causing a new earth. The old energy, the old way, the 3D energy that was 7.8 hertz cannot exist in this higher frequency, so a new earth needs to come into play. So now I'll bring through the ancient ones for some light language. Wakshni itwa akma I akshna atwa e itla. Miktakatachna makni. Imakshnikna atwa e ikna atwa e. Hu takai o wala each kama atwa e. Halawa each kana o maktaka each kana atwa h na. Imalakla each kana atwa e yata te ti do 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 da do 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 do. Imana each kana atwa e alakshna e makna akna h kana atwa e ikna atma e klachkna ikna chachkna ach. Imalakla e ikna ichkna. They're clearing away the throat chakra, really cut something away that was blocking the throat chakra. Our throat chakra is our will. If we're going to move into sovereignty, we need our will. We need the will of our expression. And so they're starting with clearing that. I realize now why, the connection. And clearing. Huchakna I maktaka ichkana atwa e ikanai o ichkana. Makla ichkanai o tekna atwa e. Hiktaktik ichkana atwa e miala ichkanai o. Himana I natwa e ichkanai o matlia natwa ikna atwa I ikna achkana itwa ikna atma. Amaktakaha. Halawa achniai o miktaka atwa e naktik. Now they're opening up the solar plexus, awakening the sun that is within us. The Egyptian energy of Ra in our solar plexus, our power center, that beautiful yellow sun, expanding it, expanding it, expanding it so that we are in our power. No longer giving it away, but finding it centered within our being. And connecting with that power and knowing that it is our divine right as human beings, as part of the creator of all that is. We carry this great sun within us. Umala ina achwa ina takahi kakna. Umana la alawa e ichkana o chikna atwa e imaktaka ichkana mila alawa e ichkana atwa e iktakawa na na. Imachkana atwa e ikna atwa e ichkai o tik tak 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 tak. Ya nawa e mai ichkana miakla e iwa ichkana o tik tak tak tik tak tak tik tak tak tik tak tak. And so now they're rooting us into the earth, moving through the root chakra, and I just realized that many of us are very ungrounded from the trauma that we've lived. You know, this need of humanity to disassociate and to disconnect from our lives through alcohol, drugs, whatever our addictions are. Maybe it's just being online in front of our phones. We all have them because we're all so wounded from having lived in this world, and it's created an ungrounding for us, and so we're not really connected to the earth fully the way we need to be, and therefore we've lost our connection to her, and the way we've treated her is just showing us that. And so part of us restoring ourselves and coming back to sovereignty is also being fully grounded in this earth. I've realized in my own spiritual journey, you know, I've done all this spiritual work, and I have said before, I was disassociated much of my life, and I'm coming back now to being grounded. And as I do that, I realize, as interesting as that is, this is another of those paradoxes, that I spent all this time being spiritual, and now I'm realizing the learning for me is being solidly on this earth and learning what it is to be a human walking on this earth and how to navigate the earth. I've always spent my time hanging out with the guides because it was easier up there, but we're here to be on the earth at this time, and we can only achieve and accomplish by being fully anchored into this. And so I'm just starting to learn this now myself. It's quite profound. And so in this light language, they are anchoring all of us in. Believe me when I tell you we can heal through the earth when we get out in nature. It's so healing. One thing I found is that when I'm in nature, I don't feel like I need to be someone else or be doing something else or meet any kind of expectation. I just feel fully accepted, and accepted is not even the right word. I just feel fully okay as I am. And it's because we've lost that connection with nature. Part of why we've also lost that connection with ourselves. So it can be like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Getting out in nature can help bring us back to ourselves, which then will help anchor us into this state of being sovereign. So I'll just let them finish up now with this light language. Himana awa e ichkana oikla atwa e ikna. Matika achkni atwa e ili. Omalawa atwa e ichkana. Oh, as I'm saying this, please envision yourself holding hands with everybody around the world. All of us together as one nation. Ikta kakachna I malawa e iknai. Uikshna atma e I akna I. Iakna o I maka akalawa apna. Knowing only self-acceptance and acceptance from others. That's all that exists in this world, is complete acceptance. And when we live in that acceptance, there's less need for any kind of management of behavior because we don't have to act out our pain. Huwalawa achkana I ma take I achkana makachwa na ma I ikna atwa e I akai o achna I ana. Himalawa akna e ikai kichi ana. And this is beautiful now. They're showing us, as we stand on the earth, this beautiful torus that is the earth, this energy field that goes up and around. They're showing me it's going up and around, embracing every one of us as it goes around. We are all standing in this circle, and the torus field of the earth is embracing us in this beautiful energy of love. Every being on the earth being fully embraced. Hiakna alma ichkanai, o wakna I maka. Makalawa e ichkanai o tiktika atwa e. Uwakla ki ichkanai, matotake ina. Mikalawa o ichkanai atawa. Iatawa e ikakna I. Makalawa ho tikaya cha. Mikalawa e ikana. Matake ikai ano. My thanks to the ancient ones. At the end they showed that torus, and through the center, which is the poles of the earth, I saw the sun coming down through the center and then going all the way down and out the other end of the earth, and I realized that that axis is planted in the galaxy, you could say, and that as we come together in this way, we are actually affecting our presence in the galaxy. I got the sense that we're actually affecting the movement of the earth in the galaxy. So it's quite profound, this light language and this coming together. So thank you for adding your vision to this and helping to create this, for indeed our visions, our imagination, that's the greatest truth. That's how we create, beloveds. Know that. So thank you, my friends, so much for being present. Thank you to the Elohim and the ancient ones. I feel so blessed to have the opportunity to express through them to you in this time of great change. So much love to you, and I ask that you support this channel. Thank you for your comments and your likes and your subscribes. I so appreciate all the feedback I get. It really is the energy that keeps me going, because I'm human and I fall into doubt sometimes, just like the rest of us. And when I receive your feedback and know that these messages are being received and that they're helping, it really touches my heart deeply. So thank you all who offer that to me. Okay, so much love.